Hello students, welcome back to our online English classes. Before starting the lesson, let us put a focus on the writer of this lesson, Guy de Maupassant. Guy de Maupassant was a French writer, and this is the biography of our writer, Guy de Maupassant. He was born in 1850. He died in 1893. He was born into an aristocratic family. He himself was an aristocrat, a rich person. He spent his childhood in Normandy. Normandy is an area. After graduating from high school, he joined the armed forces during the Franco-Prussian War, and he was an army man also. Following his service in the army, he went on to work as a government clerk. He worked as a clerk also, and this is why he very well knew about the life of clerks. Lived in Paris and improved on his writing, and this is how he started writing his books. He is a very famous writer, and so many other books are also there. Let us come on the lesson to understand it. The necklace lesson is about a lady who is very ambitious, who is after money, and who thinks that money or ornaments or valuable things are everything in the life. They bring happiness in the life. But at last, what happens with her? That we are going to see in the lesson. This is a moralistic lesson which gives you a very good moral regarding the property, regarding the value which you give to the money and the beauty of the life. That we are going to see here. Let us come on the lesson, the necklace. In this video, we are going to understand part 1 of this lesson. There are two parts to you. Second part we will see in our next video. Mathilde was a pretty and charming girl. This very first line describes the character of the protagonist in this lesson. Protagonist means the lead role, or the actor or actress who is playing main role. He or she is called as protagonist. So Mathilde is a married lady here, and she was pretty means very beautiful, and charming means attractive girl, born as if by an error of fate into a family of clerks. By an error of fate, this phrase means what? Error of fate. Fate means destiny, and here the writer wants to say that destiny has done a mistake with Mathilde, because Mathilde was born into a family of clerks. Once again, I remind you, this lesson belongs to the France and Paris. In Paris, clerks were considered as poor people. This is why writer is saying here she was born to clerks, means that was an error of fate. She had no means of becoming known, no means, no medium she had to become a known person, means famous person. Understood means someone should understand her. Loved means someone should love her or be wedded to an aristocrat. In the image you can see a person who is looking like aristocrat. Such people means rich people, and people who belong to such rich and high profile families are called aristocrat, and nowadays also it is called in France. So this is an image of an aristocrat person. You can imagine how aristocrat should be. So what was Mathilde's desire? That she should be married to such an aristocrat person, rich person. and so she let herself be married to a minor official at the Ministry of Education. Means she had no means because she was from a poor family, means clerk's family, and this is why she was not able to marry to an aristocrat or a rich person. This is why she was married to a minor official at the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education is an office in Paris. In that ministry, one clerk is there to whom Mathilde was married. Now let us see what happens in their life. She dressed plainly because she had never been able to afford anything better. She used to dress very simply. Plainly means simply, and it is because she could not afford costly dresses. She suffered endlessly. Endlessly means without any end, continuously, feeling she was entitled to all the luxuries of life. Whatever she had may be sufficient to live a good life, but her desire was not allowing her to live that satisfied life because she always used to think that I entitled to a luxurious life or a rich person's life. This is why she was not able to live her life satisfactorily. Further, what happens here? She suffered because of her shabby. Shabby means a dirty room, or you can say things are not kept on their places and things are kept here, there, anywhere in bad condition. So shabby, poorly furnished house. Poorly furnished means its furniture was not so good. It was poor, in poor condition. All these things that another woman of her class would not even have noticed tormented her and made her resentful. These things which were present in her house, these things would not even have noticed. Any other woman would not have noticed it, that these are not good for me or I am not suitable for this, and any other woman would not have got tortured by these things. But here Mathilde is getting tortured due to her condition and the house. Why? Because she had the comparison with aristocrats, with rich people, and this is why she was suffering. She dreamed. Tormented means gave great suffering or pain. So these things were giving pain or suffering to Mathilde. Her and made her resentful. Resent means what? To have anger in our mind. And this resentment on a particular stage breaks out, comes out. So such resentment was there, means a type of you can say vapors. Vapors were being created in her mind about these things. She was not able to accept these things. Particularly, resentment is said about ill will, which is growing in the mind. Next, what happens here? She dreamed of a grand palatial mansion. Palatial means of palace. Palatial mansion with vast rooms and inviting smaller rooms. Perfumed for afternoon chats with close friends. Here she is having some idea about how her house or how her palace should be. That image we can see here. Uh, you can see in the image a palace is there, and such palace is called as a mansion. Here some rooms are also there in the ground, on the ground, and in these rooms the meetings are held. And she was after such a mansion, she was thinking about such a mansion. She dreamed about such grand palatial mansion. with vast rooms and inviting smaller rooms. Inviting smaller rooms are the drawing rooms or guest rooms. So inviting means very attractive, where people feel that we are getting invited. Perfumed for afternoon chats, and so many types of perfumes and pleasant smell should be there. With close friends should come, and she should sit with them. She may sit with them, and she may spend her time at such a pleasant place. Come on the next passage. Yet she had no rich dresses. She had very simple dresses because her condition was not such to fulfill her all the desires. No jewels, nothing. And these were the only things she loved. She didn't love the life, beauty of life, the nature, the human being, the intelligence. And she loved just the outer things, the jewels, the dresses, the charm. She wanted to she wanted so much to charm, to be envied. To be envied means people should feel jealous, envy, looking at her. To be sought after means people should search her. Where is she? Where is she? She wanted to become like this. She had a rich friend, a former schoolmate at the convent, whom she avoided visiting. Her one schoolmate friend was there, but she avoided visiting to her because afterwards she would be with regret, despair, and misery. With regret, despair, and misery. Regret why? Because she visited her house. Why should she visit her house? Why had she visited her house? Thinking this, she would have regretted. Why? Because she didn't have anything good to wear, any dress, any jewelry, and her friend was rich. And this is why she would have compared herself with her friend, and she would have thought on her bad condition, pitiable condition. Come on the next passage. One evening, her husband came home with an air of triumph. Air of triumph means what? Triumph is a feeling of victory or winning something. Means happiness, feeling of great happiness is triumph. Her husband was very happy and holding a large envelope in his hand. Some large envelope was there. What was it? Look, he said, here is something for you. He brought something for Mathilde, and he was very happy to show that thing to Mathilde. But what happens? She tore open the paper and drew out a card. A card was there inside the envelope. She tore open, means she torn that envelope, and she took out the card. Then she read it, on which was printed the words. Some words were there. Which words? The Minister of Education. The Minister of Education and Madam George. Here this MME. This stands for Madam. Madam George Ramponneau request the pleasure of M and MME. M stands for Monsieur. Monsieur means in French language Mr. Mr. and Mrs. Loisel's company at the ministry. So he was Mr. Loisel was a clerk at that ministry, and the Minister of Education and Mistress means wife of Minister of Education both requested them to invite some party. Loisel's company at the ministry on the evening of Monday, January 18th. On this day, they were invited. Loisel, Mathilde, her husband, both were invited. Instead of being delighted as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation. Instead of being delighted, delighted means becoming happy, pleasant. So here, instead of becoming happy, her husband thought that he hoped that she will become happy, but she didn't become. And she threw that invitation on the table resentfully. Again, resentfully means with anger. Anger was there inside her mind, and due to that resentment, she threw that card and muttered. Muttered means to say something in your mouth in very low voice. What do you want me to do with that? And what do you expect me to wear if I go? Means, what do you want me to do with that card? What should I do with that card? And if you expect me, if you think that I should go, what do you expect to wear? What should I wear? And this is how she was complaining because she didn't have any jewelry and any expensive dresses. She was having resentment, and she was not in a condition to go to the party. He hadn't thought of that. He stammered. Here, this stammer means to say something with stress. Why the dress you go to the theater in means you frequently go in a dress to the theater of movies or dramas. That dress is good. It seems very nice to me. He stopped, stunned. Stunned means what? Stunned means shocked. Distressed. Distressed means under stress. To see his wife crying. She was crying here. He stuttered. He asked her. Stuttered means he asked her, "What's the matter? Let us see, Mathilde. How much would a suitable dress cost?" Here, now he saw that Mathilde was not happy and she's crying. And looking this, he decided that I should help her to purchase a dress. And now he is asking about the dress. How much would a suitable dress cost? She thought for a moment, computing the cost. Computing means calculating. She was calculating how much it should be a good dress, and also wondering what amount she could ask for without an immediate refusal. Immediately, Mathilde's husband should not reject her demand. This way, her demand should be. Means her demand should be just and proper, and uh, her husband should be able to fulfill her demand. At last, she answered hesitantly. Hesitantly means uh, not very boldly, but with hesitation, with some fear. I don't know exactly, but I think I could do it with 400 francs. Exactly, she didn't know, but now she told 400 francs. The dress may cost 400 francs. Now, what is franc? Franc is the currency of France. In the image, you can see one franc. Image of one franc is there. One coin is there. This is an example. This coin belongs to the 1854th year. This is how the franc was used there. Such franc. So she demanded 400 francs near her husband to purchase a good dress. Come on the next passage. He turned a little pale. A little pale. Pale word means what here? Pale means colorless. His face became colorless. Colorless represents that when you are unhappy from inside, your face looks pale or colorless. And why he was unhappy? Because he had been saving that exact amount to buy a gun for a hunting summer. In summer days, hunting activities used to go on in that area, and this is why he was saving that exact amount, means 400 francs itself, to buy a gun. But here Matthew demanded exactly 400 francs. In the country near Nanterre, this Nanterre is an area with a few friends. with his few friends, he had decided that he will go with his few friends. But here, if his 400 francs will be spent on the dress, he will not be able to purchase his gun. However, he said, very well. Then also he said, yes, very well, I can give you 400 francs, but try and get a really beautiful dress. Come on the next passage. The day of the party drew near. Drew near means came near, and Madame Loisel seemed sad. Madame Loisel means Mathilde only. Seemed sad, restless. Restless means the person who doesn't have rest, who is not able to take rest. Anxious means not normal, though her dress was ready. Here, Mathilde was still anxious. She was not normal. She was restless because even though she had purchased a dress, she didn't have any ornament to wear. Due to this feeling, she was not not happy. One evening, her husband said to her, "What's the matter? You have been acting strange these last 3 days. Since last 3 days, her her behavior was very disturbing, and this was observed by her husband." He asked her, "Come on the next passage, what does she say?" She replied, "I am upset that I have no jewels, not a single stone to wear." A single stone means any precious or expensive stone, ruby or a pearl or a diamond. I would rather not go to the party. As I She replied that as I don't have anything to wear, I just have the dress. How can I go in the party? So it will be better rather than going. I should cancel it. You could wear flowers. Now Mr. Loisel, her husband, convinces her, you could wear flowers. He said they are very fashionable at this time of year. He's convincing her, deviating her from that desire of having any precious ornament or any stone. That wearing flowers was the convention that time. That was the fashion that time, and she should wear it. Flowers. She was not convinced, and but she was not ready here to wear those flowers. The next day, she went to her friend's house and told her of her distress. And finally, she went to her rich friend and she told this thing that I don't have any ornament to wear in the party and I have to cancel the party. I have to cancel my going. Madame Forestier, this Madame Forestier is her friend, went to her mirrored wardrobe. Mirrored wardrobe means a wardrobe is a furniture where you keep your dresses, and mirrored means which is having mirrors. One we can see in an image. This image you can see, this is a wardrobe. Here are the doors of wardrobe, and inside this wardrobe clothes or ornaments or valuable things, money is kept. Outside these mirrors are there. Such wardrobes may be present at your home also. Took out a large box, brought it back, opened it. So here Madame Forestier brought a large box in which some ornaments were there, and that she opened in front of Madame Loisel. Madame Loisel, choose, my dear. She told Mathilde to choose any one ornament, whichever, any one or more than one, whichever you like. First, Mathilde saw some bracelets, then a pearl necklace. She tried on the jewelry in the mirror. This jewelry she tried also. Then she kept asking, "You have nothing else? You have nothing else?" Who is asking? Mathilde is asking to Madame Forestier. that don't you have anything else other than these ornaments? Because Mathilde was thinking to wear something charming, more attractive. And then what happens? Come on the next passage. Why? Yes, but I don't know what you like. As a Lady Forestier, Madame Forestier was a rich lady. She had so many ornaments, but she didn't know what Mathilde likes. Suddenly, she discovered in a black satin box, a superb diamond necklace. What is a black satin box? That example we can see here in the image. This is a black satin box, and such necklaces are kept in the satin boxes that you can see here. So such black satin box, Madame Forestier kept in front of Mathilde, and superb diamond necklace was there, and her heart began to beat with uncontrolled desire. She had this desire, and her desire was getting fulfilled here. If the thing which you desire is in front of you, your heart starts beating very highly, and the same thing was happening with Mathilde. Her hands trembled. Trembled means what? Trembled means her hands were moving as she took it. She fastened it around her neck. Fastened means tight it around her neck and stood lost in ecstasy. Ecstasy means what? Ecstasy means extreme happiness, so much happiness as she looked at herself. Then she asked anxiously, hesitating, would you lend me this? Just this? Would you lend me means she was asking to give that necklace. Why? Yes, of course. Who replied this? Madame Forestier replied that why? Why can't I give you? Yes, I can give you, of course. She threw her arms around her friend's neck rapturously. Rapturously means what here? Rapturously means with great joy. Rapturously means suddenly your joy comes out. In that way, she threw her arms around her friend's neck and she tried to hug her, then fled with her treasure. What was the treasure here? The necklace. The day of the party arrived, and this is the necklace about which the title is there. Here, this necklace is doing a very important role in this lesson, and this necklace teaches her true values of life. Madame Loisel was a success. Madame Loisel was a success means what? She was looking very happy that time and she was looking successful. A confidence was there inside her because she had a good dress, she had the necklace, and she was looking one out of the aristocrats or rich people present there. She was prettier than all the other women. Elegant. She was looking pretty means very beautiful. Elegant means having a rich or attractive style. Gracious means comfortable and smiling and full of joy. She danced wildly with passion, forgetting everything. Passion means extreme feelings, full of feelings. And this is how she danced there in the party in the triumph of her beauty and success. Due to these things, she danced. And as these things were temporary, she was not aware about this. This happiness was just a show off. It was not the real happiness which comes from inside, floating in a cloud of happiness. Mathilde and her husband left at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and till morning they were in the party. At the morning they left. When they were finally in the street, they could not find a cab. A cab means a taxi or a vehicle which they can hire to carry them towards their up to their house. They walked down toward the Seine. Seine is a river in Paris. till they found one. So till they walked at some up to some distance, and then they found one cab. They were dropped off at their door in the Rue des Martyrs. Rue des Martyrs is a place in Paris. This image you can see, this place is called as Rue des Martyrs. This place is Rue des Martyrs, and at this place the cab left them, dropped them off at their door, and then sadly it was all over for her. Sadly it was all over for her means what? She was very happy in the party, and the ending of party was sad for her, because now she came out of that illusion of that fictitious or false happiness. In front of the mirror, she took a final look. A final look. A final look means before removing the ornaments and the expensive dress, she thought that I should take a final look how I look. She went in front of the mirror. She saw herself, but that time, in all her glory, a glory was there, a shining was there on her face. But suddenly she uttered a cry. Uttered means what? Took out of the mouth. Uttered a cry. She cried suddenly. She no longer had the necklace round her neck. Means the necklace was not there, which was lost. And the necklace was lent by Mathilde from her uh, rich friend, Madame Forestier. Now what happens? What is the matter? Asked her husband. Her husband heard her cry, shouting, and he asked her. She turned towards him, panic stricken. Panic stricken meaning is given here. Panic stricken means with a sudden feeling of fear. With a sudden feeling of fear. Panic stricken. I no longer have Madame Forestier's necklace. He stood up, distraught. Distraught means worried and disturbed. What? How? That's impossible. He was not in a condition to believe her that the necklace was lost, as the necklace didn't belong to them. Necklace was belonging to Madame Forestier, and in the morning or next day they had to return the necklace to her. It was very costly and very expensive, that they were not in the condition to give back the money. Here the lesson finishes, part 1 finishes, and part 2 we will see in the next video. Your homework for this video is write difficult words given in this part 1. If you have any doubt, you can ask me on my personal number. Take care. Thank you so much.